the Graveyard Girls. I thought we got past this.
What
We didn't know
news? What news do you have to tell me, Amelia?
Yeah, quit my job.
I know.
It's simple as that.
Yeah, because now I'm in the shit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we were kind of both in the shit. And, yeah, just, what's the saying about the last straw on the camel's back thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, that happened last week on the night when you went in and just had enough. Thought you pushed me too far. And, yeah, gone. So, don't know what I'm doing now, but...
You're doing podcast?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm doing the podcast. So everyone needs to buy our stuff on Patreon because I need an income. I'm not going to lie. But no, I'm glad I've done it. I've kind of fixed one of the problems that I've been having.
You seem better.
Oh no, instantly. As soon as I handed that notice in, I instantly felt better. And I do. I don't think it's properly sunk in yet because it's only been, well, it's not even been a week. But yeah, no, I feel better. I think it was brewing for that anyway. But yeah, no, I'm done. I had to do it because...
I'm not looking forward to going back in.
No, not now. But I've not completely abandoned you. You still get to listen to my random ramblings every week when you record. So I've not completely abandoned you.
No.
If I could, I would take you with me.
When I'm crying at work and I need you.
Yeah, that's it. You have to cry by yourself now.
That's fine.
It's fine. You'll look like me, like a mad woman. It's fine.
Well, they just ignore us anyway.
Yeah, I think it got to that point with me that I was just Amelia.
So I was working with someone and I was crying the entire time. He didn't say a word.
No. I think, like I said, well, they don't care, do they?
No, they don't.
So,
It's their loss.
it is their loss.
And you're irreplaceable.
Well, apparently I'm just a number, so we know they like numbers. So,
well, they can't count, but yes.
yeah. No, like I said, it's the right decision to make. Obviously, I've got to put something else in the pipeline.
It's definitely better for your mental health.
Yeah, definitely, because like I said, I'd had enough. I just snapped that last shift and I thought, no, I can't deal with this crap anymore. So I'm off. And yeah, I instantly feel so much better for doing it. Like I said, what I'm doing next, I have no fucking clue.
The world is your oyster.
This is it. I think I've got to the point now, like, rather than just doing something for the sake of it, it's more I'm actually going to think about what I'm doing. I'm going to take a bit of time to sort of mentally unwind from work and then actually pick something that I want to do and something that can fit in around the podcast. Because at the moment, like, we're trying to cram the podcast in with everything else. And it's like, this is what we really want to do, but we're trying to fit it in. Whereas now I've kind of got that option that actually I can make podcast number one and I can make work around it.
I do love doing the podcast, even though every time we have to hit record, I'm like, I don't want to do it.
I know, we're like, how do we start it? What do we say?
I don't know what we say. We always have to think of something what we're going to talk about, and then we're like, as soon as we hit record, we're like, I don't know what we're going to say now. But yeah, as much as I hate listening back and editing this, I do quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. And like I said, we've done better to start off with than what we originally thought we were going to do. So we've just now got to make it work for us, like, full time. Hopefully we can, like, make a job out of this. Because if I could do this all the time, like, it would literally be perfect.
I know, because all the cases, like, we're stumbling upon, we're learning so much, and all the research is going into it. It's great.
This is it. Like, I've got so many more cases. Like, at first, like, I was never short of cases in the first place. But, like, once I found one case, I found another one. And now that we started doing these historical ones, oh my God, I've got, like, an endless amount of stuff that I could do. And it works really nicely with us starting girls on tour, which, like, now the weather's good, we've got longer time. Obviously, now I'm not working, like, I can go and have a day out if I want a day out and do loads of research. Like, I went on Monday, I met up with my sister to do some research for an upcoming case. And that was really good. Yeah. I've got loads of information, but it's also opened up a whole load of new cases that I can do, because I've literally, once I started delving into one thing, I found a history on a load of other stuff. Yeah. Which is absolutely perfect, because, like I said, we're never going to run out of content, really.
No, we're not.
But yeah, if I could make this the number one job now.
It's enjoyable.
This is it. Like, I'm having a massive amount of fun doing it. And because I'm doing it with you, like, it's like we're so different but the same at the same time. Yeah. And I think that's why we work so well together. We've got so many different things. Like, we look at it from such different perspectives. But in a way, like, we don't always agree exactly, but we can more often than not come to an agreement on something. We've just tackled it. It's not that we have different views. We've just attacked it from a different angle. Yeah. And we both bring in something that's slightly different, which in terms of a podcast is a brilliant way to attack it, because if we've constantly got the same views, it's very, I think, one-sided is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we've got very different ideas. So overall, even though what we come up with, like we come to the same conclusion, we've come from different places. And yeah, I think I hope everyone agrees it makes for good content, because I feel like it does.
I feel like it does.
Yeah, and like I said, we've only been recording now for a couple of months. We've only sort of released the first one. It was like a month ago. Yeah. But yeah, we've been recording for a couple of months, and like each week, like it gets better. Like we keep finding things. Like we've got so many new ideas each week. I'm like, Natasha, I've come up with this. We could do this, and that's how it should be. Like we're clearly enjoying it. And like I said, it's opened up. Hopefully, it'll open up even more doors for us. But it's definitely already opened up a lot of doors.
It has.
And I think, like I said, now that I've walked out my job, I've got the time now to put in what I want, and hopefully, like I said, really take off. We just got a boost of views now, keep going. So if you're listening to this and you've got people that you think might like it that aren't already, if you could share it with them, we'd be very grateful.
Yeah, and we've noticed that we've been left some reviews as well, so thank you for that.
Yes,
especially
massively.
on, was it Apple we've had the most rated on? I think so,
yeah. Because for us, when we look at the data that comes in, also we can see some, but it's mostly Spotify that they send the data through from, because that's been a good one as well. We've noticed quite a lot of other countries, like we've spread quite pretty much all around the world already. We've all got like Taiwan, Sweden, Germany, was it Switzerland, sorry, with and America, obviously Britain's our main one, but yeah, it's been really good that we've already hit quite a few different countries, which we were not expecting.
No, we were just expecting some friends and that's it. But no, it's taken off way more than we thought.
And it's good that we've been able to do that like off our own backs, because we have got the social media side, and we do post quite a bit, but we didn't have the followers before we started. So for us to be able to reach that big an audience already is.
So where are we finding them from?
And that's it, but it's good. It's obviously whatever we're doing is obviously working.
Yeah.
So hopefully that can just keep increasing.
Yeah.
That's what we'd like. And yeah, we can get everything going.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
should we jump into
into today's case? It is a ghost legend, but there'll be a bit of a plot twist in it as well. So,
I love ghosts, so let's...
I do. Yep. So that's when I spotted this. I was like, oh, Natasha will like this one. So I thought, I'm going to go with this. And then as I started to delve into it, I was like, I don't think this is a ghost legend. I mean, technically there will be a ghost at the end of it because the person's now dead based on when the case happened.
Okay.
But the original, where I originally got it from, I don't think it's quite right. And I'll explain why as I go along. But yeah, so basically, it's the mystery of Lord Lovell. And the ghost of Lord Lovell. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've heard of Jim Lovell.
No,
the astronaut.
No, this is a little bit before his time, Natasha. Okay. Just a little bit. So, the ruins of Minster Lovell Hall have inspired a number of ghostly legends.
Okay.
So, there was a man called Francis Lovell who became the first Viscount Lovell and was a supporter of Richard III during the War of the Roses. So, like I said, we're going back a fair few years. About 1400s, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So, after the defeat of the Yorkists at the Battle of Stokefield in 1487, Francis Lovell is said to have gone into hiding in a secret room at Minster Lovell Hall. It's said that the only person who knew of his presence was a faithful servant who locked him in the secret room and brought him his food. Now, according to legend, the servant died unexpectedly, and now no one knew that where Lovell was, and it was claimed that Lovell then died an unpleasant death of starvation because obviously no one knew where he was. So,
sorry, did I just miss why is he hiding?
I'll get into that. So it's after a battle, so I'm guessing it's not gone well, like he's been defeated and he's gone into hiding.
I thought he was just wanting to live in the cupboard.
No, he's pretty much from what I can work out from this ghostly legend, he's gone into hiding.
Okay, but why lock the cupboard? I think
he didn't know where people were, but I think the servant was locked in. I'm presuming there was possibly other people living there at the time or other people in the grounds.
Yeah, that makes sense, but it's also, if you're locking, you've got to rely on this one person not to die.
Yeah.
You've just served your own death.
Literally. And this is why I was a bit like, well, this was a bit stupid. And this is how I started to delve into it. So in a little while, you'll understand why there's the plot twist.
Is he Harry Potter under the stairs?
What, with a secret cloak?
No.
The invisibility cloak?
No,
in the cupboard.
In the cupboard under the stairs.
No, I feel like he might have had like a big room. Like, oh my God, is it Jane Eyre where the mad woman's upstairs?
Oh,
there's a Dickens thing, isn't there? There was
Jane
made
Eyre.
into an adaptation where she's a mad woman.
Yeah, that's not Jane Eyre.
Is it not?
No.
I don't know what it is. I'm not that into Dickens.
Jane Eyre is a writer herself. Are you thinking of Mrs. Havisham? Well, this is great.
No, there's a thing. I can't. Oh God, I don't know what it's called. And she basically, I don't think she was. She might have been an orphan. And then she goes to work for this guy, and she falls in love with him. But then they go to get married, and it turns out they can't get married because he's got a mad woman that was his wife upstairs. Oh my God, what's the
What
program?
are you on about?
Oh my God, hang on. Wait a minute.
I'm thinking of Mrs. Havisham, where he dies.
Let me search.
He dies on the wedding day, and she lives in her wedding dress. Is that not what you're on about? She lives upstairs.
It is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever read that. I thought she was an author. Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
No, I've never. Well, I might cut this bit out.
No, we can keep it in. Yeah, it is Jane Eyre.
I've never. Is Keira Knightley in that film? I don't know. I have never seen it.
I don't really read Dickens, I'll be honest.
It's not Dickens. Because you keep
But it's
saying
not.
Dickens.
It's that time. That's what's worse. We're both confused. It's not. It's Charlotte Bronte.
Because you keep saying Dickens and then you're saying, oh my gosh. Oh.
Yes, okay, we were both wrong. It was not Dickens. It's Charlotte Bronte, which is why I've thrown you out.
Yes, because you kept saying Dickens, and I was like, "Who's the?"
I thought it was Dickens, but I don't know why. It's like set in a similar sort. It's like same sort of shitty film.
You know why you're thinking Dickens?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same sort of shitty film that I'm forced to watch at home when it gets near Christmas time because it's apparently a Christmas classic.
Jane Eyre.
Yeah, like when they bring out all the classic films and period dramas.
I'm thinking of Pride and Prejudice, I think.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but they're all pretty much played at the same time. Yeah, the basic, it says here, the basic thing of Jane Eyre, seemingly plain and simple girl as she battles through life struggles. She has many obstacles. And then she goes on to work for Rochester. And his marriage to Bertha, that was it, the mad woman that lives upstairs. He locks her away.
Bertha?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never read
She basically is deranged. For all I remember from it, and I should probably remember because I've been subject to watching this multiple times at home. But basically, yeah, Jane Eyre falls in love with the man that she's working for, which is obviously kind of a little bit forbidden. They go to get married. Then turns out they can't get married because he's already got a wife who's a mad woman locked upstairs. Jane Eyre isn't very happy about it. There's a big house fire. I think the mad woman Bertha sets it up on fire, if I'm not mistaken. He goes blind and thinks they're not going to get together, and then I think they do end up getting together. It's like, like a happy ending, sort of shitty.
See, this is why depression fucks with your mind, because Jane Eyre clearly, I thought she was a writer, but obviously not. It's Bronte.
Yeah, Charlotte Bronte. So I don't know why I thought Dickens. It's because I'm thinking period drama, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's not my sort of read. It's not my thing.
No, I don't think I've never read it. I've
definitely never read it. I've just seen the film adaptations that they've done because, like I said, I'm subject to those every Christmas.
I remember seeing the name on a book, but yeah, my brain is fucked.
Yeah, well, I've thrown you right off now anyway. Sorry, Natasha, and everyone else, because now everyone will be giggling to themselves like, God, who are these idiots? They don't even know the difference between Dickens and Bronte.
We never passed English lit.
We did. Do you know what's worse is the fact I did actually get an A in English lit.
Yeah. Same, but oh my God. It's been a long time, and like I said, brain is fucked.
Yeah, your flaccid brain.
Oh yeah, my flaccid brain.
But yeah, anyway, so imagine it's sort of like this. So I was obviously doing a bit more fishing, thinking, all right, well, why was he on his own? Why did he lock himself away?
Yeah.
So, and then I was also thinking, well, how did they know it was him? And how did he get discovered? Supposedly. So when the building was renovated in 1718, so this is a good, nearly, over 200 years later.
Yeah, so they've never opened it since.
In between that time, no. Yeah. So, yeah. Which is why for me then it starts adding a few questions. Was like, well, how do they know it's him? So this is still going back to the legend that they created.
Especially if, no one knew he was in there.
Yeah.
He just went missing.
Yeah, well, I presume so. So I kind of touch on it a bit later, but I don't want to spoil the ending. When the building was renovated in 1718, a vault was said to have been uncovered. In it sat a skeleton of a man at the table with a skeleton of a dog at his feet. And then I was a bit sad. I was like, he's killed his fucking dog as well. What a bastard. So then I felt a bit sad. But then as it goes on, I don't think there was a doggy in there. Now, this is where it gets a bit...
because then you have to take the dog out to go toilet.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't
or
have
you piss
to.
is you train the dog to piss in a pot as well?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. I hope there wasn't a dog in there with him.
So do I. Well, this is where it now gets a bit supernatural and ghosty for you. Or in my mind, it's made up. But depending what angle you want to tackle it at, it was said that the gruesome sight of the skeletons was only witnessed for a moment. According to the story, as soon as the skeletons were exposed to fresh air, they immediately crumbled into dust.
Yeah. No.
So
it's like sunlight and then it's just like disintegrates.
like a vampire, you've perished.
Absolutely not. I think it was probably just some dust that looked a little bit scary and then some wind
piled
came
up on
along.
a chair.
Yeah. And then they're like, did you see that?
Yeah.
No.
It was Lord Lovell. I mean, it makes for a good story and a legend.
It does.
But yeah, I'm not believing any of it. So, ghostly wailings are said to be heard from around the now ruined grounds of the hall, and footsteps are heard pacing around. Some have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a tall man in a cloak. Many speculate this is the ghost of Lord Lovell. I'm thinking
Also,
bullshit.
The ghostly wailings as well. It's probably just the wind through the ruins.
Also, when I've looked at the ruins, it literally is like flattened to the ground, like literally very basic ruins. Apparently, like there is a little bit that you could kind of make out as maybe a staircase. But how do they know that that was the bit that he was supposedly died in? And he's just the cloak. Is he like just floating? I also kind of weirdly imagine the Grim Reaper.
That and also Headless Horseman.
Yes, that. And also, where's his little ghost dog friend?
In Ghost Heaven.
Oh, okay. But why is he not formed into a proper ghost? Because now I'm thinking...
Because he's in heaven because he's a sweet little dog.
Who got innocently murdered, supposedly. I'm not believing in this legend, I'm not going to lie. So then I read that and I thought, well, this legend's a bit fucking stupid, isn't it? So then I thought, right, well, I'm going to have to find out where he did actually come from to kind of disprove why I think it's stupid. And then I kind of discovered there's no actual record of him actually dying. Obviously, he will have died because there's no way he can physically still be alive unless he is like a vampire. Or a witch or a wizard.
The vampire thing explains him disintegrating.
That would
sunlight.
be true. So I was obviously looking for things that could explain this, but actually no one knows where he died. So there's like no record of him dying. But there's lots of suggestions of where he could have died. And some of these, to be fair, do kind of make sense. But it would also mean he couldn't have been at Lovell Minster. And therefore, unless I'm mistaken, the ghosts haunt the grounds on which they died on.
Supposedly.
Yeah, in which case...
If we believe in ghosts,
yeah.
yes.
So that means he couldn't have been there. Also, and I'll explain why later.
Lovell Minster as a name is funny to me.
It is. I think basically someone just wanted to create a good spooky story one day, and it's kind of evolved, but now it's got a bit silly. And yeah. So basically, I'm going to tell you a bit about Lord Lovell. He's an interesting character, I'm not going to lie.
Well, he went to space.
He's... in your head. I mean, he's a bit of a... He goes around a lot. I don't want to say he's a coward, because I feel like if I was also put in some of the words he put in, I'd probably be shitting me pants a little bit. But he also does lots of running away. So,
okay.
He is and he isn't a coward. You'll know what I mean when we get into it. So basically, Lord Lovell is an English nobleman who was an ally of King Richard III. Lovell continued to the Yorkist resistance into the early years of Henry VII's reign. In 1466, he married a lady called Anne Fitzhugh. Anne was the first cousin of Richard III's wife, Anne Neville. So a few Annes.
Oh my God.
Which is why I'm confused. So then, now I'm going to take you to the Battle of Bosworth, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. And this is and its aftermath. So in June 1485, Lovell was appointed to guard the south coast to prevent the landing of Henry Tudor, which is Henry VII. However, Henry landed in Wales near Milford Haven, avoiding the stronger defences of the English south coast. While no chronicle account of the battle actually mentions Lovell, it's believed to be almost certain that he fought for Richard at the Battle of Bosworth Field. This is where it starts to get a bit interesting. 2 reports written in the immediate aftermath of the battle list him as among the fallen, but in fact he actually escaped. So he didn't die. After the battle, Lovell fled to the sanctuary of Colchester and from there escaped in the following year to organise a revolt in Yorkshire. That revolt attempted to seize Henry VII. After the failure of this plot, Lovell tried seizing Henry VII in York by himself.
Okay.
He's believed to be behind the attempted assassination of Henry VII in York. After the failure of both of these attempts, he first joins fellow rebels at Furnace Falls and later fled to Margaret of York in Flanders, which is in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then after that, so like I said, he's doing quite a bit of running away. He's causing a bit of shit and then doing a runner. So in a way, he's brave.
Yeah, he's basically throwing a grenade and running away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a bit brave, like standing up for his
starts
mate.
the fight. Yeah.
And then was like, oh shit, like this has gone a bit bad. I'm pegging it. So then so now he's fucked off to Belgium, and then along comes Battle of Stoke. So as chief leader of the Yorkist party, which is like the English royal house of Plantagenets, Lovell took a prominent part in Lambert Simmel's enterprise. Lambert Simmel was a pretender to the throne. Now, along with a man called John de la Pole, who was the Earl of Lincoln, he accompanied the pretender to Ireland and fought for him at the Battle of Stoke. This was on the 16th of June, 1487. Lovell was seen escaping from the battle and may have fled to Scotland.
What?
No surprise.
Wait, hold on. So he's run away from one, is in Belgium. He comes back to start another one. Yeah. Well, not start another one, take part in another one, but still runs away.
Does a runner.
Why does he keep coming back just to run away?
I don't get it. It's almost like he gets a bit brave.
Yeah, and he's like, no.
And then he goes, nah, actually, I'm shitting my pants now. I'm doing a runner before this gets bad.
I think that's probably most of us. It's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Or like he's quite happy in a group. Like he'll go, he doesn't want to go on his own. And then I don't know, maybe part of the group start getting like
murdered.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, actually, this isn't quite so fun anymore. So.
An arrow through the eye. And he's like,
Because actually, I've changed my mind. I'm off.
Yeah, he's like, I'll do it if you do it.
So, yeah, they believe he may have fled to Scotland.
Okay.
Where on the 19th of June in 1488, James IV issued a safe conduct to him. However, there's no actual indication that Lovell ever arrived or lived in Scotland. So, basically, James gave him a passage and safe passage, but there's no actual proof whether he even made it there or if he actually decided to go. So we don't know.
Okay, unless King James gave him protection, as in secrecy as well, so then we wouldn't know.
Maybe. I hadn't thought about that.
No.
That was a good point. So now Lovell's wife seems to be left behind in all of this. But in 1489, Anne was granted annuity of £20. Now, annuity is a type of insurance which pays money to a person for them to live off. So today, we'd normally use it if people outlive their pension and they're still obviously in retirement. And it basically provides people with obviously money to survive off. Now, £20 doesn't sound much, but she would have had that every year.
Yeah, back then it's a lot.
It's a lot of money. And to be honest, I feel a bit sorry for her because he keeps fucking off.
She's probably glad to see the back of him. She probably assumes he's going to be back any time.
Yeah, see, I think it's bad, but at the same time, would it be quite nice? Because then you don't really get to choose your husbands necessarily. Just a lot of the time, you're kind of married to someone. So, I mean, he sounds like a bit of an arsehole, but also a bit of a wimp. So
unless
she might be quite glad, she kind of gets the house to herself.
Unless she put him in the cupboard.
Oh.
And locked him in there, and he'd be like, I don't know where he is. And then she just gets the money.
So it's her fault.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But yeah, so I do wonder if the reason that was given to her is because he kept fucking off. Now, either way, she was still alive in 1495, and the date of her death is not known. But obviously, she was estranged from Francis, so I think she's obviously still important. She's obviously still held her status, but I don't think she's important enough for them to keep record of her. So this is where it then gets into the reports of his death, and obviously I said before there's two possible reports, so this is the first one.
Okay.
Now, the most popular report is that I've already told you about. Now, looking through his history, it's likely that he went into hiding. I don't think Minster Lovell was exactly the best place for him to hide, because Minster Lovell is obviously in Oxfordshire, which is also a long way from Scotland. Now, Lovell had hardly spent any time there, so it seems unlikely that, one, he would have travelled all the way back down from Scotland to do there, because he runs the risk of being seen someone. Also, he'd have to go back through York.
Yeah.
Which is where he tried to bump Henry off. So he's taken a bit of a risk there.
But didn't you say a servant locked him in, so then he wouldn't know the servant for very long?
Yeah, so this was the other point. So it seems unlikely that one single servant would have hidden him away from all that time, and it's not like servants would have travelled around with them. So I don't think they would have built that much of a friendship, if you like, that someone would remain that loyal to him. Plus, the manor had been granted to Jasper Tudor, who was the Duke of Bedford, who was also Henry Tudor's uncle. So it's not exactly the most suitable place for him to be hiding out. It's not impossible. He could have done,
or it's insanely stupid but also smart at the same time, because you wouldn't assume he'd be there.
Yeah, it's kind of in plain sight, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just, for me, it seems a bit far-fetched. He's gone from Ireland to Scotland, back down to Oxfordshire.
He travels through space and time just a blink of an eye. He's in Belgium and then Scotland and then Ireland, and then for God's sake.
I think it is, but I think it's more than likely, if he did make it to Scotland, I think James I said has probably kept him. Or I think there's a possibility that he didn't even make it to Scotland.
No.
Which then brings me on to the second theory of his possible death. So the second theory is on what happened to him. I got this from the Nottingham History website, and there's some references made by the Transactions of the Thornton Society, Archaeological Society.
Okay.
A bit of a mouthful. In that, they say that the Society's visit on the 30th of June 1903 to All Hallows Church in Gedding. The third slab, Alabaster one, lies at the south end of the altar table. A few lines in black wax constitute the remains of an inscription, an effigy to a knight of the 15th century. The late Mr. Lawson Lowe of Chepstow said that in December 1882, that when he visited the church in 1865, the date could be made out, and he thought that the effigy might be that of a knight who fought in the Battle of Stoke near Newark in 1487. So it's a possibility. Obviously, that's the battle he was supposed to have gone to. Now, it's also worth noting that Gedling Church and Stoke Barstow Castle are the ancestral homes of Joan Barstow, who was Francis Lovell's great-grandma. So there's family links.
Okay.
And it lies just a few miles away from when the Battle of Stoke took place. So this is where, then, for me, I think if we obviously know he likes to do a runner. If he's tried to escape from the battle, either across the river at Friskerton Shallows, and then that he was either killed on the way there, and then his grandma scoots him up and buried him, or he later died from his wounds, and that the reason his body was then buried under flagstones in Gedling Church was in order to prevent a certain fate of him being hung, drawn and quartered.
Okay.
So, and it would obviously also preserve his body. And a plaque for Francis Lovell lists his death as 1487, which was the year of the Battle of Stoke. But obviously the date of his death isn't actually known, so I feel like a lot of people still relate it
to him.
This. So yeah, it doesn't list the date, it just lists the year. I think they still listed it as a year because that was the last record of him being seen, so it's presumed, whether he died at Stoke or not, it's presumed that's the year he died.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because he just drops off the face of the earth, unless you want to believe the legend. Which I don't believe. But yeah, I'm not convinced. I think for me, that second account of his death, the one of him actually falling or dying very soon after the Battle of Stoke, that for me is the most plausible
it makes sense. I
story.
think the ghost story probably just appeared afterwards, because I think ghost stories from that time just make sense.
Yeah, and if you think you've got a big hall, like, it's good to make a good ghost story, isn't it? That's what everyone wants when you go to these big houses, even if it's in ruins.
And you probably think it's haunted because it's so big, the wind's travelling through. Yeah. That you're going to get cold spots, you're going to get the weird ghostly wailing.
And this is it. It's like I said, it's a good story, and all you got to do is one person take it. And if like I said, if I went just off that ghostly legend and just reported that, then I would have literally been reporting a ghostly legend. It was only because I sort of, me being me, questioned it and decided to have a little look into who he was that I actually discovered all the other stuff. So for me, the whole ghostly legend thing is I mean, there might well be a ghost there, but I don't think it's Lovell. I think it's more than likely possibly someone else, if there is a ghost. I don't think it's Mr. Lovell. I just think it's too unlikely that he's going to run back there after a battle. And I think especially as well, even though they don't officially know his date, the fact they listed his death as 1487, which is when the Battle of Stoke was. Yeah. For me, it's almost confirmation. Yeah. Even though you can't officially date it.
I think you solved a ghost story.
I think I might have. We might have actually solved a sort of an unsolved mystery. So it is and it isn't an unsolved mystery. I don't believe what has been reported.
No.
Yeah, it's just an interesting one. But I liked how it started off with a ghosty story when I was looking. And I was like, oh, this is quite interesting. I was like, when they obviously mentioned Richard III, I thought, oh, there might be a good story in this. And then when I started reading down, it was like, yeah, he's seen like wailing across the thing. And then about his starvation, I was thinking, but did no one else? Like, because imagine, like I said, it was one loyal servant that locked him away. I imagine a big house like that, there's more than one servant.
There's not going to be that one
You would
person.
have banged on the door, wouldn't you, after a couple of days of not getting food? Be like, excuse me, I'm a bit hungry and thirsty.
Or it could go back to Anne knowing that he's in there and she's just like, no one say anything. Pretend we're not here. It's gonna have his punishment for running away all those times. It's gonna stay in one place.
But yeah,
forever.
it was an interesting one to say the least. It's a bit confusing, but I liked it. It's a good history one, isn't it? It kind of is unsolved, and isn't it? It was a bit of a historical case, come supernatural, come I don't know, just a bit of a silly man that kept running away.
And then we realised that we don't know anything about Jane Eyre.
Yeah, or Dickens.
Oh God, I do read.
I do read as well. But just that it's not my sort of thing.
It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not something I'm interested in. I'll be honest. I like history.
Yeah.
But those period dramas, I don't know. It's too airy fairy, floaty boaty,
because
a little bit annoying. And I can't stand. I don't like rom-coms or anything like that. It's not my thing. It's just as soon as I'm listening to it, I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like, you know where it's going.
Yeah, you know where it's going, and that's what annoys me about stories.
Yeah,
and
it's like they always have to have a happy ending.
That's not life.
Yeah, and it's just
our lives.
It ruins it.
Yeah.
It's just boring. I switch off automatically, which is why I didn't know who it was.
No. She's an author, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, those people are about it at the same time. It's fine. I admit they might have not even been about it at the same time now I said that.
Probably not. We're like, you keep going on about Dickens and Jane Eyre. I'm like, no.
Yeah, but when you watch the period dramas, they're all basically made the same, aren't they?
Hats and the frilly shirts and the scarves or the cravats.
Yeah, and it's like silly, giggly women like, there's men here. We'll have a ball.
I get my ankle out.
Yeah, it's just stupid. He walked me across the gardens, which is like a 20-acre plot of land.
They have to be chaperoned.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. And then,
but once they're alone...
That's it. You have some steamy sex. So even though most of them have never even learned about sex, so it amazes me that they even know what to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know when, like, I mean, obviously I know the film isn't real, but when they go into these sex scenes, it's like they've always been having sex. And I'm thinking, didn't you say a minute ago you didn't even know what it was? So
it's just what comes natural.
I'm just thinking, right, okay. I was like, well, okay, so yeah. As you've probably gathered, it's not our thing. So if you ever want to send us anything, don't send us a rom-com or some silly period drama. I like a historical documentary, just not some airy-fairy, silly period drama. It's not for me.
No. I do love, but rom-coms are what they think life should be, and it's not, and it just makes me more depressed.
Yeah, I think it pisses me off more than anything. I finished watching a movie, I don't feel relaxed like I've watched a movie, I'm just a bit angry.
No, it's just you know where the story's going.
Yeah, and it was always the same, even if the characters are different. You basically predict the end.
It's always the same. You know that person's going to get with that person. There's going to be some thingy in between.
Yeah.
And then at
maybe
the end...
someone will die in between. And then, then they'll get back together. Like, it's true love at last. And like, we'll happy ever after. I'm not falling for that shit.
It would be nice if that happened, but you know.
But it doesn't.
Realistic.
Does it? But no. Anyway.
Are we ending on a sad note? No, we're not. We don't like rom-coms.
No. So, hopefully you
Jim
found that
Lovell
case.
is a ghost.
Eh?
Jim Lovell is a ghost.
It's not Jim, it's Francis.
I know. Maybe he was reincarnated as Jim Lovell, just because they have the same last name, and that's how that works.
Oh, right, okay.
It's not. I don't know how it works.
Maybe by the time Jim got there, obviously, Francis Lovell spent, running around everywhere, made it to everywhere. He passed it on, obviously, to be like great, whatever however many fucking greats it is, grandson. And Jim was like, you know what, I'm going to upstage him. You've been everywhere up and down the world, so I'm just going to fuck off into space. So run off into space.
But it also, he never completes his mission because he's on Apollo 13. And therefore... He's running away again because he doesn't get it done.
It's in his genes. It's not his fault.
There we go. We solved the Lovell case. I don't know.
But yes, we've massively gone off on...
I'm tired today. That's why I'm being weird.
Bit deranged, I think. Yeah, that kind of like tired, sort of delirious
Tired. I'm just tired today.
Oh, you can be sad.
I'm sad too. I don't know. You've left me at work. I've got no one to talk to.
I'm sorry, but well, if I didn't have done that, we wouldn't be able to do the podcast because I'd have been convicted of a murder. So you have to look at it that way.
Well, we could have done the podcast as you. Oh no, you'd
Are you going to come and visit me?
No, I was going to say you'd be a ghost, but no, you're in jail. Why would you be dead?
Oh, I mean, you could kill me off, so I don't have to go to jail. But you'd have to kill me in here, so I can haunt here.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't know.
I don't know how hauntings work. I think it's where you want to be.
I thought you were tied down to whatever building you died in.
That, or you're tied down to something so you can be moved.
Oh, okay.
So you could just be
Are you
tied
moving
to
me?
You could be tied to that microphone.
Oh, okay.
How
are you going to kill me?
I'm not going to kill you.
I know, but if it gets to the point that you've got to kill me so I don't go to jail, can you make it a swift death, please?
I will, but if you mysteriously die after we've recorded this and this has been released, this is like a confession.
No, right now, Natasha did not kill me.
Oh, that just makes it even more suspicious.
No, Natasha didn't kill me. I just died.
As I hold a gun up to your head as you said. I don't know what we're doing. I'm too tired today.
I know. Well, we are a bit delirious today, I think.
I know.
But no. Anyway, on that note, I think we've tied this case up. So, yeah, thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you. And in the meantime, keep creeping.
And we'll keep digging.